Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir. And you know what? I want to read something I like. And as you know, I love Superior Spider-Man. Peter quips, but Otto boasts. And he's such a fun character to read. And it's one of those ones that he's a fun character to write. And it shows through. This is one of my favorite books right now. I'm doing this during daylight. Here comes Butters. I thought I locked her out of the room. And so hopefully my bird won't start yelling because it's daylight. Anyway, I will be given another chance to win the Mystique Marvel Legends figure. More details on that at the end of the video. But for now, let's just pop into this. As far as the cover, it's okay. It's exactly what it says. It relates to what's going on in the book. At the end of last issue, Otto absorbed the power cosmic from Terex, and it looked like he was turning the tide. So, where Spider-Man had to blow up Firelord with gas stations and, barely got him down. Let's see how Otto deals with Terex. So, let's go ahead and let's dive in. Okay, got the opening page, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, at the end of the last issue was the big reveal, I guess you say cliffhanger, that Spider-Man used the harness to get Terex's power. And here he is, "Tremble, Terex, for I now possess your power cosmic." And, unloads a blast on him. "Arrogant grub, you may have some of my power, but you've had the power mere moments. Whereas, to me, my axe," calls his axe toward him, to get Otto from behind. "I've been a master at it for years." And even Otto has to concede that it's a valid point. Again, one of those pages. It's a double page thing, and it goes across like this. And I think I told you I'm not a big fan of that, but at least the top panel here is kind of separated by the fold, so it gives the idea that it's not like this. Yeah, I've been complaining about that. I think comic layouts are a lost art. Go back to the 60s and 70s and even into the 80s before they started to get kind of, super stylized. It made sequential storytelling interesting but also easy to follow. The lack of gutters sometimes just makes things a little bit hard to scope out. Then you get all the crooked, but that's just me kind of, venting. So Otto notices something. "But you are nonetheless an idiot, while I am a genius. Now that I have your power over rock and stone, and face an enemy whose skin is made of rock and stone, you see where I'm going," and starts using his power to basically tear apart Terex. Yeah, it's a great move. It really is a great move. You see, he's really messing him up. And I wondered, does he have... Until here, I wonder if he was just solid rock. But no, he's got muscle and stuff like that under him. Sometimes with characters, you never know if they're like solid, like Colossus solid steel, or is it just his flesh. I think with the Thing, they've gone back and forth, that he's solid rock he turns into, and there have been times where he gets some of his chunks taken off and you can see the muscle underneath. And so yeah, I always kind of wondered about that. "What you do to me, I will revisit tenfold upon your city." So since Terex, has been using the power cosmic for, ages, he can fight Ock and tear apart the city, while Ock has only had the power minutes, and it's hard for him. He's still learning how it goes. So while Terex is tearing up the city, it costs Otto, he starts losing the fight again. "Can you keep fighting me while keeping it intact? We shall see, monster." And yeah, so they fight, and I know the answer. "Your effort is hopeless and doomed to fail." So yeah, the tide swings back. And then we have Anna Maria with the night shift. "The monster's killing him. Why don't you do something?" "Why don't you, lady? It'd make about as much difference. This fight is way above our pay grade." So, of course, I love this character. The best part of Slott's Superior Spider-Man run, and I think everyone can agree, even people who did not like that run, was Anna Maria. She is a great character. And here, of course, she's brilliant. So she starts ordering the night shift around. So dig it out, Skullface twins. That fight's moved away from the rubble. Skullface, she disrespects us, but we're still doing what she says? I guess she reminds me of Mom. So the brothers Grimm go out to help her, and yeah. And terrorists won't fall for the same trick twice. You're right, which is why we won't try the same trick. So we got the living brain here. Hello, Anna Maria. How nice to meet your friends. I am the living brain. This town just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Now, about the art in this issue, there's so much going on, so much detail that I can kind of forgive this. They don't really skip backgrounds too much. I like John Byrne. I'm a big fan of John Byrne's work, but even he, would do a lot of backgroundless panels, and that very rarely happens in this book. So you do get some of these kind of weird faces in that, but you know what? I can overlook that because it's not just taking the easy route, and yeah, the face may look kind of weird here, but she could have he could have easily made a lot of these panels blank or put little detail into it, but no, I can overlook this, because it's made up for elsewhere. So back to the fight. You can't win. Return my power to me, and I shall spare your life, at the cost of how many others? What do you care for these vermin? Their lives are meaningless. I once would have agreed. No longer, of course. He pulls out the spider tentacles, which of course fits in with both the whole Dr. Ock and with the Spider-Man motif, especially like the Iron Spider. So yeah, I like that use. So yeah, even Spider-Man's, the superior Spider-Man's realizing that he doesn't really have much chance. That's when Anna Maria reaches out to him, comes up with a plan that they're going to try and analyze Terex's power, but they need something to do it. So Spider-Man decides that he's going to use the axe. So he gets the axe to the Brothers Grimm. You see, he pulls it away here, and I don't like this thing. It feels alive. Just hold it for a minute, you dope. Let the brain scan it. Even Anna Maria talks down to the night shift. It's awesome. And like I said, I love. There are so many characters in the Marvel Universe that just get kind of overlooked. They're not used, because they're kind of goofy. And yeah, the night shift is a bunch of those characters. And I love it when they're brought back. You don't always have to make good characters. There's such a stable of characters that are just fun, even if they just have a little bit of a goofy theme, like the night shift. And you can do so much with them, and that's what I love. Even in Gwenpool, they used Batroc in a way that he doesn't usually get used. He actually, I'll be honest, I never even really liked the character, but, he was used well in that book. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent here, so now that they've analyzed the axe, basically, Ock is going to use the Star Trek gambit, something that Kirk would use. So yeah, while he has half of Terex's power, he makes a change to the axe. And once again, we got these panels. This one is really close to the middle here. In fact, I'm right in the middle here, the staples. So yeah, this one's a little hard to tell, which way it goes. Again, I keep harping on this, like panel layouts, lost art. But also, like I said, there's so much detail going on in these books, in this issue. So he does the Captain Kirk gambit where he takes the axe and he alters it just enough. Basically, like Star Trek would have some type of techno-babble that they've reversed the polarity on it. So when it gets back into Terex's hand, give it a frequency that would counter your own. And yeah, then that's get this great panel of him just, call it a poison pill. And yeah, Terex is beaten. I gotta stop soon. So the Brothers Grimm come up with the harness. Oh man, you're gonna kill us for running away, aren't you? No, you redeemed yourselves by bringing the harness. And frankly, your cowardice was expected. But you would do well to remember I could kill you, if I chose. So, yeah, typical Ock, in fact, with the power cosmic at my command, I could do virtually anything. But I am all too aware that a human body cannot long contain such energies. And there goes my bird. And of course, I can already accomplish anything with my natural talents. This is a very great scene because you have in this, Otto is threatening to kill them. Basically, I can kill you if I want to, but I know I can't hold on to this power. Um, and so, there's a little bit of heroism here. Not just he's not just being pragmatic, because this is Otto. If he really wanted to keep the power, he would find some way to, make a harness himself that it could hold it while he used it. Um, but I am all too aware that the human body cannot long contain such energies. I think he's actually, justifying that. That's a very heroic thing, to give up the power, but it also ends with a boast, which is typical Otto. And of course, I can already accomplish anything with my natural talents. This is a great page. We see a lot of Otto and the journey he's been on. Um, the device is an adequate receptacle for the moment. And now that he's drained of the power, he collapses. Because he got trashed in the previous issue. I mean, he got beaten to within an inch of his life. And of course, the brothers Grimm, being cowardly, they take off and leave him behind. So, police, if they identify me, must. And he tries to get up. And as he's blacking out, he sees, of course, the silhouette of Anna Maria and the living brain. So I'm going to stop it there because the rest of it is basically a way to keep Anna Maria in the book and in Otto's life, and it makes sense. It's not just like because when he was in Peter's body, she fell in love with him. She fell in love with the person, not the body. So they didn't do the whole thing where she immediately goes back to him because he's redeemed himself. So yeah, it gives it a good way to keep her in the book that I approve of. And yeah, this book, I am loving this book. I haven't been reading any of the other Spider books, other than I read Spider-Geddon a few months ago. And I've heard Amazing has gotten really good. But I love the character of Otto. And we have seen him really change from trying to be a hero, and we're seeing him actually do heroic things. Not because he has, the ghost of Peter inside of him or Peter's memories. No, he's doing things, he's on the path of redemption, and I love a good redemption story. And of course, remember, Otto is also the person who tried to kill the entire planet. Or what was it? Kill like 75-90% of the planet. And so that's a very, very hard road to come back from. And even Magneto would do it from time to time. And remember, he sank a sub full of people. And, eventually that does get brought up from time to time. But yeah, I love this book. And it's so nice to finally be able to read good books. Especially ones by Marvel. It's getting very, very hard to do these days. So yeah, I've already forgotten who's writing this. Oh yeah, Gage. He is doing such a great book, Christos Gage. And yeah, who is this? Mike Hawthorne. It's very hard for me to read. Mike Hawthorne. Yeah, the art, some of the faces, a little goofy at times, but you never see, unless it's for like a reaction. Like this, you have all the energy, so you have the hatching in the background, kind of hatching, or this, but the back panels, the backgrounds, other than the occasional energy, they're not blank, so I can forgive that. Art, I'm enjoying the art, a lot of detail to it. It's good. This book is good. So yeah, I'm giving this noon. Yeah, pick this book up. It's a good book. It's a fun book. Even if you didn't like the Spock run, the Superior Spider-Man run under Slott, yeah, this book is better than that, if you ask me, because it doesn't have the whole baggage of stealing Peter's life, and even. Don't want to give too much away, but even Peter makes somewhat of an appearance in this book. So, anyway, enough on this. Again, 12 o'clock, like this book. And if you watched yesterday's video, I am giving away a Walgreens exclusive Marvel's Mystique. I love the way they do that. They put Marvel's Mystique. They have to do that with some of the with some of the characters' names that are, trademarked by so many people, so many other companies like Boomerang and stuff. So, yeah, Mystique, yeah, Marvel's Mystique. You know what I'm talking about. Um, yeah, and it comes with the Rogue head and the Lalandra head. I just kind of slurred over that. I have not been drinking, so yeah. I'm in a good mood. This book put me in a good mood. I've had kind of a crap day, and this book has put me in a good mood. But anyway, you want a chance to win this? Like I said in the previous video from yesterday, um, just make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment. They gave a couple alternate heads to put on Mystique. Um, what other heads do you think they should have included, or maybe could have been a possibility? I suggested Destiny because you have Mystique, you gotta have classic Irene Adler. Her. At the time they only hinted at it, but it's been pretty much established that they were lovers. And yeah, and then there was a whole idea that Claremont had that Nightcrawler was going to be the son of Mystique and Nightcrawler, but that was kind of ahead of its time. So kind of props to Chris on that one. So yeah, yeah, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment, and the contest is open just U.S. and Canada this time. So yeah, that's no problems. But anyway, open to people in the U.S. and Canada. I'm supposed to say not sponsored by YouTube, that kind of thing. This is just me. I'm doing a giveaway. They're getting out in stores. I was seeing on Reddit that a lot of people are still trying to find them, and so figured give some away. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.